So I do want to ask as my first question, what was the toughest time in your entire life?
And this is, I mean, a deep question, but there was two times that were like pretty, like they're pretty tough for me. The like, first one was when I got cut in Houston. First time I've ever been like cut from a team, any team, or denied a job, or I was
Right.
told, basically told like you're not good enough to do this. And I thought of it as a blessing. And I'm like, yeah, I get to go home. I get to, I can get to start my 9 to 5 now. Like, all right, we gave a good run at it. Like I was for 6 months. Like, cool. Like I can play with these guys. Like play next to JJ Watt, play next to Jaden Tony. Like, cool. Like I can say I bet. And as soon as I got on that plane, like O'Brien, like sat down. He's like, "Oh, you can play in this league." I'm like, "All right, appreciate it." But like, you're cutting me. Like, thank you. But like, so I left, and you fly home after living in a hotel for 5.5, 6 months, and you just start thinking about life. You're thinking about how everybody else is. They're starting their job. They're they're like living their lives, and nothing's stopping them. Nobody's saying no, right? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And I got home, was living with my parents, and you go from I signed a contract. I mean, it got voided, but I signed a contract for like $1.6 million, 3 years, 1.6. I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm living in my child bedroom, like when I was a child, like my childhood bedroom, and I'm sitting there like,
It was a massive reset. Yeah.
well, you can go from Mount Everest all the way down to the well. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like I got to find a way to make it back. So just on Facebook and stuff, and I started like substitute teaching because I always know, man, kids are my passion, man. They're awesome. So I started substitute teaching and doing some odd jobs. And me and my dad, we just started bickering at each other. He was always like, I'm thinking I'm a grown man. I can do what I want, but I don't have my own place. I don't have my own house. Don't have a place to rent. Don't have anything, right? So I'm living under his house, kind of live under his rules. And yeah, we almost came to blows a couple of times. I thought I was like, man, I'm checking him. I'm like, yo, who you talking to like that? And it's his house. He can talk to anybody however he wants. You know what I'm saying? But I had a tough transition knowing what to do and what to do without football. And it's a tough transition right now. Like, I love that sport. I love playing it. And I hated getting hurt, but we'll get to that in a little bit. That's like the second time. But finding my way back to like through arena football and just finding like a group of guys who love this same thing as much as I did, this childhood game, this innocent game that you want to play forever. And it's nobody's fault because there's so many people there's my college teammates are like me. I was fortunate enough to get a look. I was fortunate enough, right? Life's all about perspective. So I'm trying to sit here and think like my life isn't as bad as this person's. Like I can't sulk. So but like then I went to play arena ball and then killed it, man, killing everything. I'm like I'm a rookie. I'm a captain. I'm setting like I'm leading the league in block kicks. Teams are gunning for me on defense. So I go down to Orlando, play for the Atlanta Predators. And about 4 months into that, I mean, it was awesome. I was able to kind of make Orlando, not my city, but like I felt at home. I was like, man, this is really cool. And I was getting paid to play. So when you get paid to play something, that makes you a professional, right? I was a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I equate for like people listening, I equate like arena football to like AAA baseball. So you're like one step away from playing in the majors. So like once you get that call, you're going to a tryout or you're going to get signed by a team. That year we had 4 people get signed by NFL teams, and I was one of them. So come August, it was actually the game you guys were at, and had a great game. I had two sacks in the first quarter, second quarter.
Legendary.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Picked up the fumble, took it back to the house. Like, granted, it's a 50-yard field, and AstroTurf.
Magic,
like,
man.
Yeah, but like, dude, just all these highs, man. Just meeting those people down there, and it was great. And I'm like, man, my life, this is great. You know what? Like, where's the adversity? Can't find it. Like, it ain't touching me. Like, little did I know that shit was right around the corner, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so the week after, it was August 25th, and Saints are in camp. My agent gets a call, calls me like, hey, the Saints, they want you to, they need a D tackle. They had one that just got hurt. So I'm like, all right. So me and 4 other guys go up there. Or I'm sorry, there was 4 of us, 3 other guys. We all go up to Sulphur Springs in West Virginia at the golf course, the Greenbrier. And real famous place, awesome place. Not too far from where, my parents grew up, or where my grandparents live.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, we have a tryout. I'm the only guy that's been playing football, right? Actually been playing arena. Everybody else has kind of been sitting at home. So I get up there and we run through these tests, and I'm killing it. I'm just like, they're assigning one of us. There's 4 of us there. I get through there. I'm running the L cone, running the shuttle, running my 40. We bench press. They give our height, weight. We do the vert, do the broad. I mean, just blow the test out the water for a defensive tackle, right? And I was sitting at dinner, and they were like, all right, we'll let you guys know, right? I'm sitting at dinner. They got dinner, like they catered dinner, every meal. I'm sitting there, and I have zero worry in my head that I'm going to get signed, and I'm going to sign a 1-year deal as a free agent. I have no worries at all. And it was because of my time in Cincinnati preparing for those tests at admission. Shout out to them. But like before I was picked up by Houston, but it was like riding a bike, and I knew these tests. I knew them. Right. So so after dinner, they call us up. Other 3 guys pack their bags. They fly back to where they're from. Right. One came from Texas. One other came from Florida. They all fly back, and they bring me to their room. They sign me. I grab my bags, and they outfit me for equipment.
Wow.
Ready to rock and roll. So we get through all that. I get my playbook. I get a crash course and a playbook. I still have it. It's about that thick for D tackles, D ends, and nose guard.
Right.
And I go to my room, and I just start studying. And I just go wham. I studied for about 2 hours that night so I could catch up on what I missed. And studied, they play a 4-3, so which is a little bit different than in Houston when we were through. So I'm just sitting there studying. You know, about halfway through the book, right? Kind of catch up to where they are. They've been in camp for about 2 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And I'm already going pumped. Like everybody's like, showing love because like it just went out on Twitter that like I got signed. And I'm like, all right, I go to sleep and on cloud 9. Next day, I wake up, we have a walkthrough, everything's good, we have a lift, nothing crazy, there's no practice. And, I get to meet the guys. I see some of the guys that I play with in Houston, and they're awesome, man. Like you see those guys that are still like in their, like, we're like in our early 20s, right? 22, 23, 24. So it's like you see those same guys, you're like, yo, what's up, man? How you been? Like, happy you got signed, man. You too, man. Like, so you're just happy for each other. And, you're really living that dream, man. Like I'm sitting like Cameron Jordan's lockers next to me, Marcus Colston. Like you see these guys Drew Brees, man. Like you see these guys and you're just like
crazy. Man. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, but it's not, and let me retract real quick. It's not everything that like people are human, right?
Yep.
Like TV makes people look superhuman.
Yep.
Like what I always tell people, don't self-sabotage yourself, because I think I did this a little bit. Don't self-sabotage yourself because you're supposed to be where you're at. Like God wouldn't put you there for like giggles, right? Like he put you there for a reason because you're supposed to be there. Like you earn the right to be there. So don't self-sabotage yourself or sell yourself short saying like, man, like I'm not cut out for this. Like don't back down. But so anyways, so let me get back to my story. I'm rambling on a little bit. My fault. So,
all good, man. All good. Please.
Yeah. So like, the next day I go out to practice and it's raining. And this is so funny because I go to the practice field, which is grass, right? Bermuda, beautiful grass. And I'm out there trying to get some work in early. So it's only me and there's another guy out there. And it's Drew Brees. And I'm sitting there like, Drew comes over, he's like, hey, we're having practice on the lower field. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay. So I like, grab my down there. But it's so crazy to think that that's a testament to him. I mean, he's a Hall quarterback. You know, like this dude is one of the best to ever do it. But he's still preparing like a rookie would, like busting his hump. Like, so it was kind of cool. So I get down to practice. They made me do 100 up downs. That's our initiation, right? Rob Ryan was a D coordinator. Dennis Allen was in the back doing DBs. And then Coach Johnson was doing the D-line. I think he's with the Rams now. I don't know where he is. But so I do my initiation, get through a team period, get through individual, get through about, I would probably say about an hour, 15 minutes of practice, right? And we go to one-on-ones. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, all right, let's rock and roll. Like, you got to, like, seize the day, carpe diem. Like, get your ass in there, like, rolling. You got to make some noise. And I get in there, my first rep, I pivot on my inside leg, and my kneecap, like, just severs. My rupture my patella. What happens is, when you rupture your patella tendon, you can no longer bend your knee, right? That would be like breaking your knuckle here, and your leg just hangs there. So my kneecap shot up to almost where my hip is, like almost where my thigh, because it rolled all the way up my quad muscle. So I didn't know what happened at the time. Nothing hurt. I was just like, like I felt the pop. And then the doc says, bend your knee. And I was like, Doc, I can't. And he's like, oh, there's your kneecap. And it was in my quad. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So, man, that started a long road of rehab and trying to get back to even walking. So that was, and this is where you probably cut into this, because this is
absolutely. Yeah. We connected on this front. I remember that day you did get injured. You know, I was at work, and I was telling like my best friend is in the NFL, and like we just saw him like bust his ass off, or just ran a defensive touchdown, like, you know, off of a block field goal. Like, it was like a high, like as you described. And so that Monday, it was a Monday, I remember that, and like I was like, you know, I felt like, you know, you succeeding was everyone else's success, which is how inspirational that you are. A friend, you know, sent me an article. It's actually Charles, so I'll call him out. He sent me an article, and he sent it, and it showed you grabbing your knee and you got injured. And I remember walking to my desk, and I was just like, I don't know what it was, but like, bro, like, wait, like, you know, you don't even need to be related to that, but I teared up a lot. I actually cried. I'm not about to cry right now saying this, you know, like it was a very, because it's just like the emotion just went so high up and just came so far down. It just was just unbelievable. Like, it was, you know, like you went to the Houston Texans, got cut. Okay, that the competitive defensive line. New Orleans Saints, he got a shot. He's definitely going to make the regular season team and whatnot. And then once I saw that, like that hurt a lot. And like, you know, like for us to be speaking about it today is clearly how powerful you are.